Should women have to compete for men when it comes to dating and relationships and stuff like that?
I don't feel it's a competition. It should be like a little bit of
So a competition.
not really.
Should a woman have to compete? No.
Should a man have to cut off his other women once a woman asks him to?
I feel like I'm asking you to cut somebody off. I might see red flags that you might not.
I understand where y'all are coming from, but I have to highly disagree. Should average women date average guys, or do you think they should aim higher?
Opposites attract. Jay-Z and Beyonce. That's your example of the five and the beauty.
Well, let's look at Jay-Z's money. You know what I'm saying? For women, it's money, security. No offense, but if you know that your face looked like it got hit by Amtrak, you're not gonna be. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Matter of Opinion. It's your boy Walls P, and I got my partner,
Rated on, repping the fresh flags.
Yep. Looking, dapper and everything like that. Got us looking bad, but it's all good. And of course, everybody, we got two lovely guests. We got the lovely Miss Erica.
Hey guys.
And we also got a new guest that you guys are not familiar with, Miss Marilyn.
Hello.
Now, would you like to tell everybody a little about yourself and the business that you got and everything like that?
Okay. I am Lady M of Caesar's Impress. We have a shampoo and conditioner that has full spectrum hemp. Our motto is to look and feel like royalty, so we even have tinctures. Our stuff is no cut, is to its point. It has a QR code. You can look up and see what contents are in each product. Have something for pain, even for if you have rosacea or eczema on the skin.
All right, so y'all hear it first. If y'all interested in getting those products, the link will be in the description. So definitely support your girl.
Check it out.
Yes. And the eczema thing, I definitely got to look at that too, because the little ones got eczema and everything like that. So that's something definitely I'm going to look into.
That's good. I'm glad you said that. Yeah. You can use it on kids. Even though it has a full spectrum hemp, doesn't cross the bloodline anymore.
Perfect. Y'all hear that? So got started for all ages.
Yep.
All right, so today's episode, we're going to talk about, it's going to be geared towards relationship, the interaction between men and women. And this was long overdue. This was a topic that, a family member had asked me and Ray to do whatever, but with the time and everything, we was a little off. But guess what? We're here now, and we're about to make it happen. So, to start it off, the first question will be, should women have to compete for men when it comes to dating and, relationships and stuff like that?
Well, I don't feel it's a competition. I feel as though it's what do you bring to the table that to add to the greatness that we can make together.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So, prime example, if I have a woman who, let's say woman A,
okay,
and she has a stable job, a regular 9 to 5, and she's all about trying to make herself grow and everything. And then I have woman B who has a 9 to 5, but she's all about partying and stuff. Cool, partying is good and all, to relieve stress. But I'm going to choose woman A because woman A is thinking about the future.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in that aspect, a woman on the outside, they might look at it and be like, okay, well, you have two women and they're competing against each other to see who can be with you. But no, in my aspect, I'm looking at it as okay, I'm comparing to see who best fits me.
Okay. Okay. I get what you're saying. Now, would it be something where you would let them know of each other that,
Of course. Especially if, I'm the type, especially if it's, I know woman A and woman B are two different type of people and they're two different type of levels. I'm going to let woman A know, hey, I want to pursue something with you because you're thinking about the future. And that's what I like. Woman B, yeah, we could be friends. And I'll come party with you once in the blue. Maybe for New Year's Eve. Let's leave that.
but you don't think if both of them know that they're not going to be in competition with each other?
I feel as though it depends on you as a person.
No, I'm talking about the women. Like, if you let women A know, hey, I'm letting you know I'm seeing somebody, whatever, so you're not the only person I'm talking to. Then you go to woman B, how I'm letting you know I'm seeing woman A, so I'm just letting you know you're not the only person I'm talking to. You don't think they're going to compete with each other?
And
To try
once
and
again,
win
that
you
goes
over?
that goes to the point of what type of man you are.
Okay.
Woman B can be like, okay, I have a party lifestyle, and this guy's a great dude. You know, he takes care of bills or whatever. This is the type of guy that I want. And woman A could be like, okay, he's let me know he's talking to this chick, but you know, I'm on a level where I want to build businesses and stuff, and I don't feel like I should beg him to try to build with me. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on the type of guy. If woman A looks at you and she's like, okay, he's worth the effort of fighting for,
Mm-hmm.
then I believe woman A should, you know, it should be like a little bit of
So a competition.
not really.
So
I'm not gonna say competition because I feel like that's too derogative. I'm gonna say
I guess my thing is you can slice it however you want, but if she is gonna step her game up because she know the other, that's competition, and competition isn't necessarily a bad thing. Because if put it like this, say Xfinity, if there was no other competition to Xfinity, they could do whatever the heck they want to do to you.
first of all,
Cable service.
Yeah.
everybody in the world knows that Xfinity sucks. Okay? Nobody's choosing Xfinity.
But
That was a terrible reference.
But that's the spot beside the point. So pretty much what you're saying is women will compete.
Not really compete. It's more like I'm trying to find the word, but it's not compete. It's entanglement. This is what it is.
Nah, I get it.
Entanglement.
You don't want it to come off as that way, but
I
get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Marilyn, what is your take? Do you feel women should compete?
Should a woman have to compete? No.
Okay.
But do we? Yes.
Okay.
That's the truth. I mean, the ratio, I said that before, it's like 5 women to one man. So if that person chooses to be honest with you and say, hey, I'm dating X and Y and Z, and you're not the only one, I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
More than someone that's just not telling me anything.
Yeah.
And exploiting your options. So, and if it's up to me at that point, whether I still want to stick around with you
Yeah.
or go the other way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel
You know,
women have
for
to
me,
compete?
I feel like women compete differently.
Okay.
And the reason I say this is women compete individually compared to men as a whole have to compete with every man that is going out for this woman's attention. So the competition itself is just 2 completely different things. Think about it. A woman has the choices of the person that they are going to start competing for. So if let's say I got a list and I got 5 things on it. If I tell you, hey, I want to only date guys that don't have children, that are between the ages of 27 and 32,
Mm-hmm.
that, that are educated
Mm-hmm.
and make a certain income bracket. Guess what? I've already set the guidelines to eliminate half of the potential suitors. So yes, like I said, the competition is just differently. I set the framework for what competition will start as, but yes, if I am a person that is being that choosy over a partner, then yes, I will have to compete with everybody else that guy is vying his attention for. And then with the competition itself, it's what do I set myself as differently? Am I a homebody who is also educated, who, doesn't have any kids, who goes to the gym 5 days a week, who, fits a certain physical look that he's attracted? You got females that stick to set guidelines to make sure that they always gravitate to that set guy. But then on the flip side, it's like the competition for what I want to do, I can make those frameworks too. I don't have to compete on every single aspect that man has to do to find a woman, that they're being attracted to. So my competition in general is just different.
See, I feel women do have to compete for a man. The reason why I feel like women have to compete for a man is because let's just look at it like this. I'm specifically talking for the black community. If you're a black woman who wants to date a black man, right? Women outnumber men. So let's just say there's 100% of men. We can't even say if we're going to split up the black men from everybody else 50% because we're the minority. So if you're saying it's 100% of men, black men are about 20%, give or take. So now you take that 20% of black men. Now you got to take away of those black men how many are not gay or whatever the case may be.
Correct.
You get what I'm saying? So now your numbers dwindle even more. So we'll chop that in half, 10%. So now you have 100% of women, because men will date outside their race. Black men will date outside their race.
Okay.
But let's just say for the sake of argument, they want to date within their race. The number is still astronomically different for the amount, like lower for the amount of men that there is for women. So in a nutshell, if you have a guy who basically meets all the requirements and checklists and he's a good guy, whatever, guess what? You're not the only commodity after him. And if you see that that man is worth your time, just like other women will see that that man is worth that time, you're going to put that time in to go look. Because if you've been out there dating and you've been seeing that everything is trash, and then you run into this one guy who fits the bill, of course you're going to compete for that guy, because that guy is the one that fits the bill for what you want.
Correct.
You hear what I'm saying?
But the competition is still not the same as a guy going to search for a woman.
But we're not talking about guys going to search for a woman, because it's easier for a guy to find a woman because the numbers for women outnumber men. So if a guy goes to talk to a woman and he there's another girl right down the street.
I'm saying, it is easier for a man to go find a woman. Just look, Vegas.
But if the numbers, like I always make this reference, if there are not enough jobs and a lot of workers, it's easy for the job to replace a disgruntled worker than it is for the workers looking for a job, because the numbers are in the job's favor. So that's why I'm saying when it comes to that aspect, yes, women have to compete, unfortunately, because the numbers dictate that.
Correct. And like I said, I'm all for women competing, because guess what? You have to compete regardless. You have to compete for a job. You compete for your career. You don't have to compete.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that men don't compete, whatever. But on average, women got to compete more because of the numbers. That's what it comes down. Like, that's the only reason why, because of the numbers.
You know why I agree with you and I have to disagree with you? Because you find a lot of women nowadays are either doing the friends with benefits type of thing. Yeah. Or they're either trying to convert their gay male friend back to being straight.
Seriously?
But think about it though. It is, but you're still competing for him too, though.
Yeah.
So realistically, you're still competing because if your male friend that was gay is, let's say he's bi. I'm not gonna say he's 100% gay. He may just be bi. Maybe he's attracted to both. How do you have to justify to yourself you're okay with that circumstance? Because a guy will be like, yo, I'm dating whatever, I'm fluid and keep it moving. If you are a female that has any type of standards, you're second guessing yourself.
Here's another thing too. Friends with benefits, yes. But what happens if that friends with benefits go find a chick that he now want a wife and get married? That their living situation, guess what? He's moving out and now you're left there to pay the rent and everything.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
You get what I'm saying?
That's a fair point. But let's be realistic.
That's still competition.
Let's be realistic. How many men turn down friends with benefits?
That's not the point.
And that's what I was going to say. That's not the point of them turning it down. It's what do they want at that time. And they may have wanted the friends with benefits for years.
And not only that.
And then guess what? They meet this one person and it changes their life.
And not only that, if they're living a scumbag life and still seeing the friends with benefits, whoever their main chick is, whatever, they're still going to be like, you're not living in that situation. You're moving out with me. You get what I'm saying? You're moving out. So you're still... So yeah.
I feel you there.
Friends with benefits is cool, but guess what? It's not the end all be all for most situations.
Yeah.
And most situations that get into that circumstance don't always end up with marriage. You start off smashing, you may or may not. And think about how many people got kids out of wedlock.
Yeah.
You started out smashing, and then guess what? End result is either kid or STD.
Yeah.
It's not always the marriage proposal and living with the white picket fence 40 years later.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's why it's more so, like I said, for me, it's the numbers. That's the only reason why I feel women have to compete. Like I said, women can feel differently, but for me, that's what makes sense. I look at numbers and statistics and stuff now.
Yeah, but in general, you got to think about it. Competing is not always just the from A to point B. Women compete with each other based off of looks, based off of time and effort that they put into themselves, based off of what they feel the mate is truly looking for. So it's not always just competing with each other to get that particular person. They also compete with themselves, because if they're dating a certain type of person and they realize, hey, this is not the type of person that I'm going to want to grow old with, then you're competing with yourself, trying to figure out, how do I level up? How do I get better so I can start attracting that next caliber of person?
You know what? You know what? I'll tell you guys a secret, okay? What we men really want. We want you there, but we don't want you there. We want you somewhere in the ducks or in the back somewhere. We want you, but you're not there.
It's like, I want that companionship, but not all the time.
Right,
I want my space, something like that.
Like prime example, we
Space
wake up.
to do what?
Just our own space.
Yeah, like prime example.
Because put it like this. Well, let me say something real quick or whatever. If a man is watching a movie or something like that, right? And you're a woman that likes to talk, we don't want to hear while we're trying to watch a movie, you talking and running your mouth. We're like, yo, I want to sit down and watch my movie. We want to say, can you shut the F up? We don't want to.
I'm so guilty of that.
That's not politically right, correct, or whatever. But that's the thing. Like, I always say this. Me and Ray we could drive to DC. We could not say one word and pump music, and it'd be the best car ride we ever had.
Word is born. Word is born.
Best car ride we ever had. We could think back, yo, man, remember that connect we had when we drove down to DC, yo? Yo, that was the best. We didn't say not one word. Men just like, sometimes we just like our peace. And I think what women get misconstrued is, if you're not having a conversation with us, then you're not having a good time. And that is far from true. Exactly. We can sit down and not say nothing, and we're enjoying the hell out of your company.
Like when you see a man looking at you and you just like, what you want? Don't ask what we want. We just want to look at you.
Yeah, we just want to admire
we just want to be a creep for the 5 seconds that we want to be a creep.
And stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? So that's pretty much what. See, women think when guys say they want their space, it's automatically, oh, you want to chill with another chick or something. See, that's the way women think. Women think it's always about another woman, and that's not the case. It's just, yo, why? That's why men have, like, how could it be about another woman if a guy will get a house and say, I gotta have my man cave? Where's the other woman in the man cave?
Exactly.
It's just him and his space with his video games, his gadgets, his sports, his big screen TV, stereo system. If I want to throw on the thong song and dance naked, I have the opportunity to do so in my man cave.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's stuff that our freedoms, like, okay, being married or whatever.
Yeah.
That's our man cave is our solid getaway.
Yeah.
Because it's where we can do shit that we normally. Where we can do stuff.
Yeah.
That we normally can't do.
That's like that's like a woman's trip to the spa.
Like, why do you think
stuff like
why
that?
do you think we be having a whole bed in the man cave sometimes? Because we want to roll left and right.
All right, y'all going left field. Y'all going left field. Get back on topic.
No, but that's pretty much what it. But that's pretty much what it comes down to. But competition thing. Like, I understand what you were saying with women compete with each other and everything like that. At the end of the day, you're still competing. And when it comes to competing for men, like if me and Ray take interest in a chick or whatever, and I clearly see where Ray's winning the battle, I'm like, yo, dog, you got that? I'm out. It's all yours. You get what I'm saying? Like, we know when enough is enough or whatever. Now, it's a difference where if you have a woman that has a side dude or something, then the side dude will be like, yo, I'm gonna put in the extra effort to try and, win her over or whatever. But if it's like a mutual ground where it's like dating, whatever, if the guys see like, yo, he's out of the picture. Now we're talking women and men that have good head on their shoulders. We're not talking about, hood mentality. We're talking about people that have actually stuff going for themselves and they, a rational person. Once they see they're out of the running, it's like, I take my loss, I'm out, I step away. That's how most men operate,
Yeah.
you know?
But you know what? With females, sometimes you don't always know when to stop. And I'm gonna throw this out there. You don't always know you're in competition with someone else, one, because not all the times are you given that information that you really are competing. You just assume, hey, the person is here with me, we're trying to build this life together, we're dating, what have you. Not everybody's always on an even playing field. If you don't know that you're competing with someone else for this person's time, for their attention, sometimes it might be, I got caught up at work and that's it. But then you have other guys who sneak, other circumstances in. You have females that do the
But
same.
that's why I took that narrative out of it. I was saying in a perfect situation. Now, if we can go into scenarios and stuff like that, that's a whole different ballgame. Because if you bring in that element into it, then there's a much deeper conversation, whatever. Because when you have people that have ulterior motives and stuff like this, somewhere along the line, you picked up a sign that you're in competition.
Right.
You just either chose to ignore those signs or come with it. Because let's be real, if you're in the beginning stages of dating somebody, there's little things, little feelers and little testers that you're going to put out there just to see, hey, let me see if there's something let me see if there's something going on here, or whatever, this, that, and the third. Most situations, people already go in thinking he's got a million chicks or dealing with other people or dealing with other dudes or whatever. So can you really be oblivious to it in a sense?
It depends on the age when you started dating them.
That's
the only other thing that I can think about. Because you got to think about it. Somebody in their early 20s will look at differences compared to somebody in their 30s and 40s dating. Because if I'm in my 20s, a lot of times you didn't experience that many certain scenarios in general.
Especially if you was never really into deep relationships and experienced hurt and stuff like that.
Okay,
you get what I'm saying?
Better.
No, that's what I'm saying.
All-girl Catholic school. I didn't have to do I didn't have boys at my school, so you didn't have some of those high school sweetheart scenarios. You didn't have that. So if you don't start doing that until you're of age, that 18, 19, you're not going to know the same things that somebody who's been dating since they were 14 may experience.
Yeah, that's true.
So you're going into a lot of your grown-up relationships or first boyfriend scenarios a lot differently.
I'll give you that. That's true. That's true. Age,
You hear that, parents? Co-ed schools. Co-ed schools.
Age play a big role, whatever. That's why, not for nothing, like I said, man, when it come to my daughter, I'm going to tell her, when it comes to dating, date the guy that you see studying and is the geek with the bifocals.
I know that's right.
That's going to be the one that's going to...
The one that spends his day all day
when
in
you
the
see
lab.
everybody playing around and he's in the library studying, stick with that guy. Don't care what your friends say, stick with him. You'll be happy at the end. So, question number 2. Should a man have to cut off his other women once a woman asks him to?
Depends on where we at in the dating cycle. I feel like, okay, if we're at a point where we're mutually agreeing that we're dating each other one-on-one situation, then I'll cut the hose off. Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. But if we just started dating, I gotta have some options, because it's like, we might start dating and then things might go left. Yeah. So, and I don't want to throw all my fruits in one basket, as they say.
What is your take on it, Marlon? Do you feel a man should, if a woman asks a man to, that he should cut his other women off?
Yeah. If at that point I said, I want to take it to the next step and I'm investing my time and energy into you, then yes, you should be able to cut everyone off, because I would do the same, the reciprocal. I wouldn't talk to anyone else.
Yeah. See?
I'm going to throw something else out there. I'm going to say certain females. And the reason I'm going to say certain females is because, you don't know what type of male-female friendships are there. You got people who have had friends since they were in elementary school that are still friends, but they are platonic friends. So I got some guidelines for some of these friends that need to be cut off.
We're talking about
women
dating.
But I'm going to even say that with dating, because the thing is, you have people whose friends are their family. So if I'm dating you and I'm like, I don't want you to talk to any female at all, that is kind of suspect. And the reason I'm gonna say it's kind of suspect is because, yes, I understand females in the picture can cause insecurities for the new person. But it depends on that type of female. Because like I said, in circumstances, I have friends, I have male friends that are like family. No, you've never seen me naked. No, we have never kissed. No, we have never had any type of relationship. Those types of friends, I feel like you should be able to keep. Now, the other type of friends, I feel like you should not, the ones who do not have your interest at heart. So the friends who are not going to bat for you in your relationship need to go. The ones who are throwing the monkey wrenches in those circumstances need to go. Because my thing is, if I choose to be with the person that I'm dating and you are my friend, I feel like you need to support whatever decision I make.
Yeah.
You should not be in my ear going, so why are you dating this person again? You sure you like this person? You know what? Come on, I'm gonna start vying for more of your time to make you spend less time with that person. Those are the types of people I'm assuming you should cut off when you're dating. But now, if you, like I said, if your friends are your family and they're pushing you towards you do what's good for you, girl, then I'm gonna support you with that.
Because at the end of the day, that can be a support system where if you and that person, you and that guy is on bad terms or something, they can actually push that guy to be go in the right direction and make things better.
Because guess what? You don't want them to be on the opposite side. Come on, we going to the club. Oh, she done pissed you off? Come on, I got something for you. Let me help you piss off some more. Because you have female friends that do that. They don't do it, and I'm not saying that they don't do it just because. They're doing it because they have some other kind of motive. So 9 times out of 10, you will have female friends that are chilling on the sideline just waiting and buying for their time. I feel like I'm asking you to cut somebody off. I might see red flags that you might not. So if I ask, I'm gonna expect you to do it. And the reason for that is if I feel like your female friend is not knowing her place, then yeah, you're gonna get a different kind of reaction. You're gonna get the, I want this person going, and not over time, I want them going now. And the reason for that is you have female friends that don't know their boundaries. They don't know their role. And I feel like they are going to jeopardize whatever situation you're in. So you have those types of females too, where if I say I got a bad feeling of it, I feel like you need to listen to what I'm saying. Especially if we are dating and this is new. And it's not always a, hey, I'm being insecure about this other female. It's a, hey, this other female is sending me signals and it ain't giving, you don't see the signals, but I'm starting to feel like this person's throwing jabs at me. This person might give me a bad vibe. And I'm not saying it's always a bad vibe issue, but it's, what did you do to lead me to them bad vibes?
Woman's intuition.
But
Another woman always know when another woman is after her man. No matter if y'all known each other or what, if you put y'all all in the same room, you know which one is after your man.
correct. And it's not even just the intuition. It's the looks that you're getting from her. It's the type of conversation that you're getting. Because those are just as more red flags than I got a woman's intuition. If I'm going, hey, we're dating and we're going X, Y, and Z, but then it's like, you know what? By the way, I can't go out on Thursday because so-and-so put something on my plate for Thursday. That starts giving you red flags too, because it's like, okay, well, if we already are dating, you should be giving me your time. Especially if our time is limited. Now, you have some people, you be like, yo, I'm available anytime. So if that's the case, then fine. If your friend is having a birthday, that's one thing. You'd be like, all right, it's a birthday, we all gonna meet up. But if it's, yo, this new movie's coming out and you knew this person really wanted to go see this movie, but your friend like, yo, I got tickets already, come on, let's go. That starts sending a little mixed signals. And even if that person is not trying to date you, it's how do you feel comfortable with going out on dates? And I'm gonna say movies is a date. It ain't we going to a birthday party with 20 other of our friends. When you start being in an intimate setting, meaning just the two of you, you have to start looking at those circumstances. Like, all right, y'all went to movies. Then what happened after that? Now y'all gotta get something to eat because movie 3 hours long. Now you're hungry. That 2 hour, 3 hour window now became a full 8 hour day. So you have to start looking at those circumstances too. It's like, at what point do your female friends fall off, like, yo, you starting a new relationship. Let me give y'all some space to figure out what y'all doing before we start going back to how things were normal. Because you can't tell me everybody that you're gonna first start dating off the bat is going to be okay with, I got other commitments with my friends before you. You never want to feel second fiddle to anybody. I don't care if it's your female friend or your male friend. If you knew you were trying to pursue somebody and you're dating, all of your available times, at least in the beginning, you're going to want it to be yours. You don't want to have to compete for their attention. Because guess what? You will go to somebody else who will give you that attention.
See, I understand where y'all are coming from, but I have to highly disagree. The reason why I have to highly disagree or whatever is maybe we're talking about two different time frames on things the way things are being processed. But if I'm out in the dating field and I'm dating multiple women, and just because one of the women tell me, hey, cut all your other women off, whatever, I want us to be, exclusive or whatever. If I don't want to be exclusive or I'm good with what I'm doing, no, I don't have to cut off all the other women.
Then you shouldn't be in that circumstance.
Listen to me. Did I cut you off? No. So you got two choices. Either you compete or you take your services elsewhere. But just because you ask for me to cut them off, if we're not on the same level, I'm not obligated to do so. You get what I'm saying? So it's being taken as since you're at this level here, then I'm supposed to automatically be at this level here. It doesn't work that way. If we're both on the same playing field, then yes, I agree, cut off the other female. But if that's not what the case is, especially if we walk into it, hey, we're just gonna be friends with benefits, whatever. You wind up catching feelings, you can't be mad if the other person don't catch feelings, because a woman will have no problem telling you, bro, you're just in the friend zone. Keep it moving. Either you stay in this lane or deuces. So it shouldn't be a problem if the man is not on that level and want to continue doing what he's doing, whatever, and don't want to cut the person off, find somebody else. Right. But that's my take. You are not obligated to cut a woman off just because a woman say, I'm ready to be one-on-one with you, whatever, yada, yada. If you're at that level, yes. If not, no. Now, if you decide to go that route, then yes, you cut the other women off. But it's not mandatory for you to do so if you're not on that level. That's where I stand with it.
Correct, but you should also be letting that person know.
That's what I just said. I just specifically said if the person asks and you say no, then it's either take your services elsewhere.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying.
I get that.
You get what I'm saying?
It's like, okay, if, and remember, you said this is strictly on a dating circumstance. So yes, the friends with benefits and stuff is negated.
Yes, because the reason why I say that is because the person who was asking, they're in the dating scene. The Correct. Family member that's asking is in the dating scene and want to know these different aspects.
Correct. But if you're in the dating scene, I don't feel like your circumstance would have started, with the friends with benefit. It's if we're dating, and we're in that dating lane.
No, it could be friends with benefits. The reason why is because how many people date so long, whatever, and it's like, hey, we're pretty much to the point where, like, I wouldn't say it's pretty much to the point with friends with benefits, but if you're dating and you're not in a relationship, whatever, that's pretty much friends with benefits in a sense, because there's no commitment. So no matter how you slice it, you can add whatever title to it, whatever the case may be.
Entanglements.
Exactly. But if there's no commitment, that's friends with benefits.
Yeah.
What's the difference if I take you to the movies and I take one of my other friends to the movies? The only difference is we're having sex. That's a friend with benefits.
Yeah, but not always if you're dating, you're having sex though.
But I said if you are. Put it like this. Nowadays, with sex being so accessible, people are having premarital sex. So what are the chances that a man, well, let's look at an aspect of a man is gonna cut off his other females, whatever, if they never had sex before whatsoever? Now, if you're talking 50 years ago, yes, because you had to court the women and sex didn't usually take place till after marriage. But now there's so much premarital sex. What man is willing to wait till till he get married with a woman or whatever, make that commitment to wind up having sex. The same thing with the relationship.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? So you're not gonna tell a dude to cut off his women and he didn't get a piece of the pie. Like, that's just the way men operate now because times have changed. So so what's your take? Because it seems like you got stuff to say, whatever.
She had a lot.
Yeah, so okay.
I mean, it depends on which angle you're discussing it from. As far as if we're dating and I feel like we should go to that level, I'm pretty much asking you to move up a level with me if I tell you to cut all the other women off.
Yeah, I get that.
Now, if a lady is in the background and y'all have been friends, trust and believe after our relationship worked, that lady still gonna be there. You still can call on her and do whatever. So y'all didn't lose anything. In that aspect, you just asked for you to come in a closer bond with me so that we can see if this thing is gonna work.
Oh yeah.
That's my opinion. Now, yes, there is a lot of premarital sex out there, but but I believe that if a man is gonna go after what he wants. So even if he didn't get it, sometimes that'd be the way to get the man is to not give it to him until whatever. I understand times have changed, but there are some men out there.
There are.
That will, actually court you or do whatever before giving up your goods. My thing is, why should we give up all of us? And y'all got all these options to pick from.
Well, let me ask you this. What is the percentage of that actually happening? Because I can say to myself, yo, one of these days I'm going to win the lottery.
Exactly.
That's a small percentage. So why am I putting my hopes on a small percentage where there's other opportunities that I can also build with? It may not be the exact, of course, $100 million is going to make my life changing. But if I take this job that starts me at $30 an hour, it's going to make me decent and comfortable enough where I can at least work with that and build myself up to $100 million. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's pretty much like what I was saying, yes, there's guys that's willing to wait, but I guess I'm talking in the aspect yo, I'm really into this guy, whatever. Y'all both was seeing other people. You was like, I'm cutting off my dudes or whatever, so I expect the same or whatever. And I get it, because even for me, if I get to that point where I'm like, yo, I'm ready to be one-on-one, whatever, this, that, and the third. Are you willing to cut off? I'm not going to say cut off your dudes. I'm going to say, are you willing to cut off your dudes? You get what I'm saying? Because when you say cut off your dudes, it's like, what are you, my probation officer?
Yeah.
What are you, a judge? No. Are you willing to? If you're willing to, I bet. I know if you're willing to, cool. If you're not willing to, I bet. I know how to move now. That means we can still kick it, but guess what? I'm going to be whoever's the one that's willing to take it to the next level. You ghost. You ghosted.
Correct. And I think it's more of the wording of the questions and how are you asking?
Yeah.
Are you being combative and going, hey, I want this and I want this now? Or are you, hey, are we both at the same level of dating where we're ready to be exclusive, where you are just cutting everybody off?
Because check this. Me, different. I got a problem with authority. So if you come to me and be like, yo, cut these off, or all right, go ahead, bye. I don't think it's good to give a guy an ultimatum, so to speak, or a woman, because once you give an ultimatum, I'm the type just to take that ultimatum, whatever, because I don't like being told what to do. Because I look at it as you're basically on a power trip and you want that authority. So these are things to see in the future. These are the things to come that when you don't get your way, then that's how you're going to act. So you just basically saved me a headache in my mind, so to speak. What are your takes as far as giving ultimatums and stuff like that?
I feel like ultimately if you're giving an ultimatum, you have to be okay with whatever decision that person makes. And you have to be okay with walking away. If your ultimatum is, it's either this or I'm leaving. Compared to if you have if you're positioning the question differently, it's, hey, can we revisit this question later on? To the extent of, hey, we are dating, can we become exclusive? It's a little bit easier to go, hey, we revisit and we're good. You don't revisit, then we'll stay in the circumstance that we're in, but you have to be okay with that decision too.
All right. If I'm giving an ultimatum, I feel like I've already made my decision. So you tell me if it's going to be A or B.
Okay.
And then I'll go from there. Secondly, I was going to say ego. You know, I remember you mentioned earlier that if you're given an ultimatum, it's a matter of control.
Mm.
And at that point, the woman could also look at it like it's your ego, because at the end of the day, a relationship is give and take. So if you're not compromising in one area for me, why should I compromise in another area for you?
Right.
I can agree with that. But hey,
It is.
that's for you guys to like decide, like, you know, what's best for your situation, because depending on your age and what you've been through and like your history, it'll determine like what you're gonna tolerate and what you're not gonna tolerate. Because at the end of the day, only you as an individual know what you want. You know what your expectations is, what time frame you're trying to get to, whatever. So only you know what's best. Everybody's circumstance is different.
Yep.
You know? All right. So the last question I have for the day is, should average women date average guys, or do you think they should aim higher?
I gotta answer. I gotta go for this one. Okay, so in the words of Kevin Samuels,
Okay.
most hated man on the planet right now. Anyway, if you're depending on the level you're at, right? Prime example: if you're a woman that has 2 kids, don't have it in the mentality that you think you can pull a man that makes $100,000. It's not happening. Okay? It's not happening. You're not gonna pull a man that makes $100,000. You have 2 kids, and that man is probably looking for somebody that's, you know, don't have no kids that he can build from scratch.
Put it like this. It can happen, but what is your real percentage of it happening?
It's like
You get what I'm saying?
0.025.
So,
Like,
yeah.
let's be realistic. Let's be realistic about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if you're trying to pull a man maybe in the $60,000 cap or something like that, that's different, because that's within your means. You get what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, if a woman can try to date somebody who's at her level or a little above her level, that's fine. But way above, I find that to be a difficult situation.
See, this is what I'll say. Women can reach higher if they choose to, but don't make it seem like you're entitled to it. That's a big difference.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? You can aspire, because anybody will be like, yo, man, I want to date somebody like Halle Berry, whatever, yada, yada. But I'm not going to be like, I'm not dating nobody until Halle Berry comes my way.
You heard it first,
Dude.
Halle Berry.
Dude, I'm waiting forever or whatever.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So that's the difference, because like guys, we have an understanding, whatever. Me and Ray could be in the gym and the chick walk by like bad as whatever or whatever, this, that, and the third. And you see other guys in the gym like cut up and everything like that. Me and Ray will look at each other like, yo, give me a couple of months when I get my body right. I'll approach you.
Well.
For you might be like, yeah, whatever, this, that, and the third. But for me, I'm like, the average dude will be like, yo, put it like this. You may shoot your shot, but the guy don't feel like, yo, she has to say yes to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So using that same example, right? Like you said, if she walked by and she looked really good, and we're in the gym together, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna give a couple months. I'm be like, okay. In the meantime, I'm gonna go shoot my shot with this Asian persuasion to see what's going on.
But we don't feel like, yo, she gotta say yes to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Even if I shoot my shot and she be like, no, third, I'm not feeling bad about myself.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I gave it a shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And why she might have said no, hey, you're not muscular enough for me, or I like dark-skinned guys, or I like guys with shaved heads.
Or
you get what I'm saying?
she might like dudes that like to pick things up and put them down.
Yeah, exactly. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, my thing is, like I said, I feel women, you can want what you want, whatever, but it's that entitlement that I have the issue with.
Right.
That's what it is.
And like I said, when you're at a certain level as a woman, I believe you shouldn't try to live or shoot above your means. You get what I'm saying? Because when you dating somebody in a $100,000 bracket, they expect certain things. They don't expect you to be, all right. Prime example, what's that guy name? I'm gonna slaughter his name, but Arnito Di Perfuncio?
I have no idea who that is, but okay.
Anyway, so he owns Telecom.
Okay.
Right? And he actually tells a story when he got to the $100,000 bracket price range of a mom with 2 kids trying to talk to him,
Okay.
right? And how he tells it is she looks good and everything, and she was a great person. He loved her personality, but the 2 kids were complete baggage because of the type of lifestyle that he was in.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? His lifestyle was, he was so used to going out, traveling the world and stuff. It's hard to take somebody along when they have the kid baggage.
Yeah. Especially if they're not your kids.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. Like, as an average woman, shoot for what you're able to get, right? But don't try to shoot for the impossible. You get what I'm saying?
And another thing too, I guess I look at it as, if you are gonna shoot for the impossible, then you're gonna have to be a go-getter and go after it, because that man is not entitled to step to you, because at the end of the day, he doesn't really need you. You more likely need him, whatever, because you want.
And you also have to remember, you're gonna have other women who are either in the same tax bracket as him, or a little bit lower, who look better because of plastic surgeries and all that other stuff, or maybe even just all natural beauty.
Yeah.
And those are the women you have to compete with.
And not only that, you gotta remember, you might be competing with them women who are as beautiful as you, but if they don't have the kids and stuff, and even if they're making less money, that no kids and stuff might overweigh it.
Exactly, because he's able to freely do a lot more.
Now, I'm not saying that every man that's gonna fly, because some men will be like, yeah, I'll accept it, whatever. But what I'm trying to say is, what is the percentage?
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel you should hold your life up thinking this is gonna happen because the percentage is low. There's other, situations out there that are great. And like I always say, man, everything is, it seems like ever since the Kevin Samuels wave, whatever, everything is predicated on high earning man or high value man, this, that, and the third. What happened to the fundamental of, this person makes me happy, that's who I want?
Right.
Money can come and go.
Right.
A person can always increase their tax bracket. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, yo, why is it that you gotta have somebody ready out the box?
But you know what that is, though? That is because the way society is set up now. You get what I'm saying? Because society is set up so that if you live in one tax bracket, the other tax bracket that's higher than yours is sometimes out of your reach.
It is, but when you look at the numbers of marriages and stuff like that, is it really working though?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
So it can be a new society, it can be the way society goes, but is it working?
Well, and that's on the flip side. Being a woman, you have to think, what are the attributes that you're looking for?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying, hey, if you're an average woman, you just date an average man. It may not always be the case, but you also have to put yourself out there. If you know, average woman not always is average woman because of looks. May not be average woman because of education, because of, because they have children. You have to figure out what the average is. There's no real set standard on what an average woman is considered.
I agree with that.
But what you do have to do is you have to figure out what you're comfortable with and try to obtain those types of guys. Because you can't tell me, hey, I'm a woman making 50, 60K and I'm okay with dating somebody making 20K. You may be okay with that.
Hold that thought. The reason why I say hold that thought is because I'm not taking it on the strength of average woman as far as their salary. Because when it comes to a man dating a woman, the last thing, well, not the last thing, but the salary that the woman make is not the immediate thing that he's worried about. It's her looks, personality, those things.
How she lives.
For women, the first thing that, other than looks, the first thing that comes into play is how much he makes, because women love that security.
Exactly.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. When
that's
guys
why I'm
look
talking in that aspect.
Correct. But you also have to figure out, what is this average for this woman? And that's the problem. There is no set standard of, hey, an average woman is somebody that is between the ages of 25 and 35 who has 2 or more children. We don't know what that word average really pertains to.
See, for a guy, when it comes to an average woman, it's your looks, how well I can get along with you, whatever, stuff like that, that companionship or whatever. Do you have kids? It's those like you're like, do you have an attitude? You get what I'm saying? Like, can I actually speak to you without you, coming at me or getting mad or, all that. So that's what.
Correct. But the problem with that is women don't really know what they are. And the reason I'm saying this is you may have a guy who will tell somebody who's a 5 that they're a 10 every day, all day. So in their mind, they may think that they're a 10.
See?
But when you try to compare them, you're like, okay, so you think you're a 10, but you're really a 4. So that's what I'm saying. It's hard for a female to really know what she is if people around her who are not, they're not giving her that sense of, hey, you are really a 5.
So let me throw this back at you then. And what perspective are we talking about that the women are? Because if you're talking about women who are online twerking and stuff like that and they're getting attention, the guys that are watching you just want sex. So they're going to tell you, oh, you're fine, sister, how you are, whatever, because that's what they want. So it all depends on how are you getting this attention for guys to judge you.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'm not even saying that. I'm just thinking on the aspect of, hey, are average women going to go? Yes, average women, I feel like they should be dating whoever is gravitating to them.
Right.
And I'm not saying it's always going to be an average man or a high earner, but you should give the guys that are giving you the time of day, the time of day.
Just to see where it leads.
Well, and it's not even just to see where it leads. It's what you pull. If you always pull basketball players and football players, then 9 times out of 10, that's what you're going to gravitate to. If you're only pulling blue collar workers, that's what you're going to gravitate to because that's what's coming to you. Now, do you have some women go, hey, I want to go outside of my normal blue collar and I want to pull a ball player? Yes, but you also have to put yourself in those circumstances to pull those kind of people. You're not going to go, I'm going to pull a $100,000 person and I'm not going into the same circumstances that they're in. That means you're going into the golf courses where they hang out, to the country clubs that they're at.
That's very true, but my thing is, no offense, but if you know that your face looked like it got hit by Amtrak, you're not gonna be looking to you're still aspiring that I can pull these basketball players and stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, like beyond your means, so to speak.
Correct, and that's what I said. It's not more of an average or a high earner. It's more of a who's gravitating to you as a female. You put yourself out there. I'm dating. And then it's, okay, I am going to date whoever is gravitating to me. So if average earners are what's coming to your way, then yes, you have to be comfortable and okay with I'm dating average earners or I'm dating nobody. So you have to make sure that you know personally who is attracted to you and where you're going. Compared to, hey, I'm only attracting average men, but I want a high earner. Because you have to set yourself apart to make sure that that's what you're getting is a high earner if that's what you want. You have to be in their wheelhouse. You have to be around these types of people. You not have to need to know how to act around those kind of people when you're there.
I get that, but I guess the aspect I'm going with is if you know you're a 5, then why do you deserve a 9 or a 10?
But that's the problem. Not everybody knows that they're a 5 to begin with, one.
But if everybody been telling you, case in point, if you have somebody that say like, yo, I don't know, say if I be like, yo, Erica, you're a 5, whatever, this, that, and the third. Just because I tell you, yes, you're a 5, it doesn't mean that you're going to have your aspirations like, okay, well, I'm a day 5. In your mind, you're like, yo, I think I was better than that or whatever. You get what I'm saying? So, yes, you're going to aim higher. But if you're aiming higher and you see that it's not coming, then that's where you got to kind of like reevaluate yourself, so to speak.
Correct. And that's why it's more of you need to date who is gravitating to you compared to I'm going to put myself around these ballers and everybody's treating me like I'm the little sister. If they're treating you like the little sister, guaranteed you are not their type. You are not the person that they want to wife and have around. So if that, like, it doesn't matter that you're putting yourself out there to be there. If you know those are not the people that are gravitating to you, then you got to figure out what you need to do. That means if you're me and I'm overweight, that means I need to lose weight if I'm not getting those kind of people the way that I'm looking. That means if it's my attitude, that means I need to go fix my attitude. That means I need to go to counseling. That means I need to go talk to somebody to figure out other ways to communicate with people, to start gravitating to maybe persuading myself to be with those kind of people. So I'm like, think about it. That's why do women get plastic surgery now? They don't get it only for themselves. They're getting it for themselves and because it either is attractive to the person that they're trying to date or because they're trying to make themselves feel good.
Oh.
One or the other. You're not just going out to go get plastic surgery just because. You are aspiring to make sure that you have the look that you know that are going to net you maybe that higher earner if that's what they want. If they want to build a beer, guess what? You're going to spend the money to go become this build-a-beer. If that's the avenue that you want to go. So it's not just the average woman needs to just date an average man. If you know you're average woman and you want to date that non-average man, then you're going to have to either progress and put the work to do it, or you stay within your wheelhouse and you date the people that are in your wheelhouse.
What is your take on it, Marilyn?
I believe you should always aim for higher. You know, to me, I feel like if you just stay average on where you at in that moment, you're not allowing yourself to grow. That's my perspective. My thing is, what may be good to one person may not be the same situation for the other person. So if I'm going after, if y'all want to put it on financial status on it and say, if I'm in a 30K bracket and I'm going after a man who's making 100K, money may not be an issue to him. What I'm offering him as far as my time and everything I can do for him may compensate for me not having the money. Right now we're living in an illusion. So you can't just say just because a ball player, I'm going to be here and grab me a ball player. Opposites attract. Jay-Z and Beyonce. You know, that's your example of the 5 and the beauty. You know, Jay-Z is not to someone's perspective, he's not the best looking man, and Beyonce may be a beautiful woman.
But for women, it's money, security.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have a person who's not attractive, but if the money is right, a woman is willing to take that. Like a woman can have a guy that looks good, like guy that looks pretty good, whatever, but he's poor. But a man who's rich and look average or whatever, the woman is most likely going to pick the security. On average, that's what I'm saying.
Depending on the woman.
Well, let's look at Jay-Z's money. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
So that,
And let's not forget the fact that they signed a contract.
Yeah, but I want her to go on because you do make some valid points. Like you making some valid points. But yeah, you were saying, you know, look at Jay-Z and Beyonce, whatever. So I just want you to carry on.
I mean, opposites attract.
Yeah.
You have a lot of couples in the industry where one is beautiful and the other may not be so hot. In that aspect, maybe that beautiful man just came across some ugly people and he's not looking at that no more. I'm looking at who can make me feel good inside, who I can build with and so forth and have a good time with. You know, it just depends on what that person is looking for at that moment. I'm always going to strive for higher because I don't want to be comfortable with someone. Show me something different outside of what I've been.
Let me ask you this, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're always going to search for someone higher, right?
No. I don't want to be the
That's
lead.
not what I'm saying. That's not
All
what I'm
the
saying.
time.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you're always going to look for someone higher, right?
Right.
But at the same time, you're making yourself higher, right? You're building yourself, right? Most people think they can just sit and be average and get a higher level man, and that higher level man's going to get them without them putting no work to at least try and elevate themselves.
Oh no, I get what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying? That's where the issue is, where it's like, should an average woman? Yes, that's where I want to get at. If you just sitting here, you're not entitled to something here. If you're working yourself up, the more you work yourself up, then the more you're going to put yourself, I think I deserve a person who's of this caliber because I'm putting the work in. I can get it. I understand that 100%. It still doesn't mean you're entitled, but I can understand where you're coming from. But if you just sitting up there on Section 8 and you just, not doing nothing, sitting in your house all day, whatever, and you're like, I need a high value, like, what are you doing as a person to work yourself up to get that higher value man?
High value may be in the aspect of, I like the way your brain operates.
So
I can
you're
do
looking
X,
at it
Y,
from
and Z, but you can do this. We can come together and make millions.
Yeah.
And think about it though. You have people that have gotten together when they were at their lowest and both have progressed. I'm okay with that too. They may have both been average at one point, and then their averageness created
A masterpiece.
the masterpiece, and then they're just high value combined. You have situations that are like that, but what about the ones that are the opposite? Because you have a lot of females that are in that average category that just assume they're going to get this high value. That's the problem. You can't feel so entitled that this is what I want and this is what I'm going to get. It's what are you bringing to the table? And like I know just in general, guys go, hey, if you have an education, fine, dandy. If you can cook, that's a little, I like that a little bit better. You know, if your body's nice and right, I might like that even more better. So it's like you have to figure out for the type of people that you want, what's going to gravitate you to be looked at. Because I may be able to work in that high value area, education-wise, money-wise. Maybe I went to school and became a doctor. So that's my wheelhouse. But guess what? If I got a nasty attitude, they may not like me.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I'm not readily available for them, they may not like me. So we could be in the same environment. We could both be in the medical field together. But guess what? My education, your education is going to bump heads eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens when you want an award and you need your wife to be on the side of you? And I can't go because I got to go deliver some babies. Like, you have to make sure that even if you're on that even playing field, education-wise, money-wise, you still have to figure out how you are going to be there and be that support system. You can't just go, I want this high value, but you don't want to do the extra stuff that comes in with the jobs to be with that high value person.
And that's one thing too. People don't understand the sacrifices that gotta be made when it comes to dealing with somebody high value, whatever. Like I'll take it to even like, I mean, sports and stuff is a different category, but let's just say a very successful rich surgeon or something like that. You gotta understand as a woman, he's not gonna make it to all of Billy's baseball practices or baseball games and stuff because he has a medical emergency and stuff like that. So with getting that high, you gotta understand the sacrifices that have to be made also, where you're not gonna get all the things you want. You're not gonna see him that much because he's working 90 hours a week or 100 hours a week or whatever this time. So you gotta understand what come with the territory. And a lot of people think it's just, oh, I'm a little lavish, but you don't understand the stuff that come with it also. Because not all average high earners got like to the point where it's like, I bet now I could sit back and let the foundation run itself. Not everybody's a Jeff Bezos, you get what I'm saying? And even so, like he's probably still working and doing stuff too, but not everybody have that luxury of sitting back and let the money come to them. And they could, let's go travel the world now while the money comes into us with it. No, a lot of people still got to put that work in.
A majority of the high earners are doctors.
Yeah.
And if we take a percentage, the majority of them are doctors.
Yeah.
They are, but you want to know what? A lot of times they're specialty doctors.
Yeah.
People don't notice that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So the specialty doctors are usually the plastic surgeons.
Yeah.
The sports medicine people, the people where you're going to have to go and travel
Yeah.
to go meet your patients. People don't always understand. And my thing is, if, like I said, if that's what you want, you have to be okay with it. And that's the biggest thing. People always see the money. They don't understand the other stuff. If I am a high earner and I'm like, look, we got to be on a plane tomorrow. Are you going to be on a plane tomorrow? What if I tell you, hey, we can't have kids because that doesn't fit our lifestyle? Or if we have kids, it's when I tell you we need to have kids. You have to look at those things too, because people will get in these circumstances. And I'm just talking on a women's aspect. They don't know what they're really signing up for. Sure.
Mm-hmm. They just look at the perks, but not everything that comes with it.
And guess what? Them perks be real lonely sometimes.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was about to say. You can have the big house and everything, but he won't be in it
Yeah,
this way.
Exactly. But
So,
yeah, so like I said, for me, I believe that people should always aim higher, but I don't think they should feel they're entitled to it. That's just my take on it. What is your take?
I feel like you aim for what you want, but you have to be comfortable with whatever those decisions are. If you were going for that high earner, you need to make sure that you know exactly what you're signing yourself up for and be okay with the fallout if you are gravitated to the money and don't know what the other roles of your job is at that point.
You know, what is your take?
I say go with whoever showed you something different It's either one or two things gonna happen. I'm gonna pull you up to my level, or you pull me up to your level, or we both going down. One or two things.
Yeah. What's your take, Ray?
Catch them with the steak and cheese.
Give them an honest take. Like, what should they do?
Nah, honestly though, I feel like, okay, you should aim high, but be realistic about your situation. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Be realistic
That's a good
about
point.
who you can really go after. Be realistic.
That's a good point. Anybody else got anything that they want to add to close it up before we close shop, or y'all good?
No, we're good. Just guys, don't forget, check out the hemp.
Yes, definitely. The link will definitely be in the description for the hemp lotion and stuff for the eczema and everything like that. So that's something you definitely want to look at. I hope those who are watching, you know, we answered a lot of y'all questions and y'all looked at stuff in a different light and everything like that. And to the person who asked this question, I hope that answered your question. I hope we did a good enough job to answer your question as best as possible. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Check out the merch.
If you got an opinion,
Yep.
feel free to disagree in the comments.
And that's going to do it for this episode on Matter of Opinion. Catch you guys on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.
It's a matter of opinion.